Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog. So as you guys saw, there is a Ford truck sitting outside right now. This is so exciting. Do you guys know how long it's been since I've been wanting to actually live with a Ford pickup with a 7.3? It's been a long time. I've done some tests with other people and this is my first time actually living with one for a couple days. I am going to be able to tow with it too because it has fifth wheel prep package. Thank God I have a gooseneck on my fifth wheel, so hopefully we can get that in tomorrow. So if not, I just have to wait to get it again and we can do that. But in this video, I'm gonna give you my first impressions on the 7.3. It's really cold outside, so this is the perfect time to really test it. And then in the next video, we're gonna do a Filicon run against the Duramax diesel because that's what I have right now, and we'll see how good the Filicon is compared to the two. Let's get started. Okay, so we're about to head over to the highway. I did get the truck warmed up a little bit, but that's something I will say about gas engines. They do take a little bit less time to heat up. And I like the fact that right out of the gate, you're gonna be able to use a full synthetic oil. Now, most of the diesels getting shipped are gonna have a conventional oil. I don't even know if they even switch it over like in like the winter time, like when they're shipping trucks, like do they use a synthetic oil? Because they do call for synthetic in colder climates in the wintertime, but I'm not sure how the manufacturers do that. But that's something that I would probably venture to say is a plus when you look at a gas pickup. One thing that I've always wanted to do with the Ford 7.3 was to really like have it for a couple of days, and you guys just know how excited I am. Like, I cannot wait to get this truck like on the highway, unload it, and then turn around and tow with it. Like, this is really a dream for me. Like, I've always wanted to do this, and it's taken almost what, 2 years, 3 years really, to actually have a chance to get one of these. By the way, this is my favorite interior color. Like, even on the roof here, you can see it has the tan, and it looks great with the black too. And this is a very base model Lariat too, so you don't have any heated seats, heated steering wheel. It does have the big boy screen, which comes standard. And one thing we're gonna do in this video, I do wanna discuss some of the temperature. So let's take a look. So yeah, the transmission's at 131 degrees. And oil life, we don't really care about. And I think it shows something else too. Yeah, the engine information, here it is. Oh, it doesn't show the temperature though. That kind of stinks. That's the only thing I'll say about Ford and GM. They don't give you a gauge summary. Everything's all over the place. Like, give me a gauge summary, please. Like, that is so important. But we're about to get on the highway. Let me give you guys some acceleration here. I want to show you just how fast this bad boy is. Let's see. You got to make sure we're nice and safe though. There's a lot of traffic coming out here. Here we go. This truck is super fast, and there was a little bit of a delay. Like, when I did wide open throttle, I had it all the way down, probably about 90%. Okay, it was 100%, I'm lying. It was 100%, and there was a little bit of a delay, but it did finally kick in. I do have it in the normal driving mode, so I just want to really get a good feel for it. I do want to do a Filicon run against my Duramax. I want to really see, in the cold weather, how much does it affect the gas engine? Now, I do know on gas engines, it does affect the fuel economy. And you guys are gonna think I'm cheating too, because I am gonna use my grill cover on my GMC. But I'll look in here and see if you have one, but for the most part, you don't really put them on gas pickups. You only do it on diesels. But let's go ahead and talk about just overall comfort. Overall, there is a little bit of body roll. Like, this truck feels lighter. Like, when I hit the acceleration, I feel like it does accelerate a little bit quicker than a diesel initially, but then when those turbos kick in, that's where you get that extra grunt, and that's what I love about the diesel. But overall, like I said, the steering on this one, at the higher speeds, it gets a little bit looser, so that's going to be interesting when I do start towing, and I just can't wait to do that. I'm so excited. But I wish there was a way that you could tighten up the steering on this, but I don't really see that there's an option to do that. Even even in the driving modes, like they don't even have like a sport mode. They just have normal, tow haul mode, eco mode, slippery, deep snow and sand, and that's it. So it would be interesting to see some type of like way to tighten up the steering, because that would be very, very important in my opinion. I did a video with some more RV, aka Ryan, and he has said this. I didn't really feel it as much in his truck, but the brakes inside the Fords are very touchy. Like whenever you touch the brakes, like there's not a lot of bite, so then you're like kind of forced to push the brakes more, and then when they actually make contact, they're just really touchy. But overall, like I said, the only thing I don't really care about is how light this truck feels. Like diesel is way more than these gas pickups, and so I feel as though because of that, I don't know, it just feels like this truck just doesn't have like that control. And I've always mentioned in the past, when you have a diesel, because they weigh more, I feel like a heavier pickup gives you more of that stability going down the road, especially if it's a windy day, because sometimes you'll see the trailer kind of going back and forth in the mirrors, but your truck is going straight. And that just goes to show you that the truck has the trailer under control. Sometimes what I normally do is I'll take the trailer brake if it's really windy and I can see the trailer really like going left to right. I'll kind of pull the trailer brake and then keep accelerating, and that'll normally just straighten it out for me. But let's go ahead and take a look at these temperatures one more time. So transmission is at 172 normal driving. So it definitely does get warmer than the other two, because I haven't really done a lot of acceleration here. So that's something that I want to really monitor when I do tow. A lot of people have said in the past that the 10-speed inside the Ford and the GMs are not the same, but they're very, 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 very close. I think that either the bell housing or how they put the torque converter in there, I don't know, I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look again, but it's very, very, very close on the design. But I think that they're probably essentially designed together, but at the end of the day, Ford and GM did their own thing in terms of like gearing and things like that. I'm running along around 75 miles an hour. Let me go ahead and set the cruise. I want to get up to 80. But I'm just kind of cruising along here. And you just don't hear the V8. Like it's so crazy how quiet this is. Now, most people would probably want a little bit more noise, and it's so easy to put an exhaust on this thing. Like you don't have all that crazy stuff with the diesels, and that's what I like about the gas option. As a diesel fanboy, it is kind of hard to overlook the diesel option because of the turbos and just because of all that torque. When I do find time to tow this truck, that's probably the biggest downfall with gas pickups. It's just you are just down so much on torque. So all in all, it's a comfortable ride. The engine picks up really fast. There's a little bit of a delay. But it's not bad. It's not bad at all. And like I said, we will have to go over the towing numbers in the next video. I'm not gonna do it in this one, but I wanted to give you my impressions on everything. But overall, the steering feels light at higher speeds. When you're in the lower speeds, not bad. And the performance is really good. It does accelerate pretty quickly. However, there is a little bit of a delay. I almost wonder if this 7.3 has so much like grunt that they have to detune it somehow. Because like I said, that there's a delay in that transmission. And it drops down to about 6th gear, like from 10th. Yeah. It's really fast, but like it's taking the engine a little bit of time to really spin up and get going. And I wonder if it's just like a little bit of a delay there to protect the powertrain somehow. So we're off the interstate, and I just did very slight acceleration, but this transmission definitely does run a little bit warmer than the other two. I want to say that the Eisen unloaded is like 165 to 168, and because it's 28 degrees outside, it probably would be on the lower end of 160, I would say. And with the Allison branded 10-speed, You know, I want to say it runs like around 170 in the same temperatures. But this definitely runs a little bit warmer. But we're gonna get these two trucks together. We're gonna do an MPG run. I want to see on the same day and same time how well this gas does against the diesel. I just want to really get a feel for if I could I potentially one day buy a gas truck and be happy with it. Like, that's something that I've always asked myself, because again, I'm a diesel fanboy. No matter how you slice it, I'm a diesel fanboy. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how easy it is to live with a gas truck. Now initially, like I said, when you start it up, it goes. You don't have to worry about making sure the oil's running through the engine. You don't have to plug it in. You don't have to use a winter front grill. So there are some benefits to owning a gas, and there's not as much emission control stuff too. And you could take this stuff out pretty easy in this truck as well, although I don't recommend that. I know that a lot of people don't really care for the bigger screens, but one thing I like about bigger screens is that you can do split screen. So on my GM, if you want to see your temperature for the outside, you have to be outside of the Apple CarPlay. So in order to do that, you have to basically hit the home screen to see what the outside temperature is. Then you have to go back in the Apple CarPlay if you're using the navigation there. So with this one, I'm using Apple CarPlay, and as you can see, I have the temperature too. Like, I don't know why GM didn't put it at least in this screen. I was looking in there, I was like, maybe it's in here. But no, they don't have it in this gauge cluster screen here. I don't understand why they did that. It's very silly. At idle, you can't hear this gas engine. It's really, really quiet. And I feel like there's some delay in the system too. It's not bad. I don't want you guys to think it's bad. It's just not what I would expect out of a truck like this. I guess, you know, the roads are a little wet today, and because it is cold, it could be the traction control. But yeah, I like the idea of a diesel. I just do. And man, these brakes, they're so touchy. Maybe tomorrow, if it's a little bit, you know, warmer and the roads are a little bit drier, maybe I can do some acceleration tests to see just how well it does. But yeah, there's definitely a little bit of a delay in the transmission. Let's hit it now. So that was wet there. But you know what? I was doing about 30% acceleration there, and I felt like there was like a little bit more lower in torque that time around. But it's cold outside, so this engine should be performing at its peak because it has that cold air going through the intake. But yeah, it seems like the transmission doesn't know what gear to be in or something like that. Let me switch cameras. When we stop again, I want to show you guys the acceleration real quickly, and then that way you can see the gear shifts too. Alright, so I want you guys to pay attention to the gears on the left side here. I'm gonna kind of roll through this light. Alright, so let's go ahead and accelerate now. It didn't do it that time, but like there's like a little bit of a hesitation in there somewhere. But if you're going under 50 miles an hour, it looks like it kind of hangs out in 8th gear. I'm gonna accelerate one more time. Drop down the 4th gear there. If you're on the highway doing about 75, 80, it just drops down to about 6. So that's probably where the broadband is at those higher speeds. So it's not bad. That's where this transmission just really does transform this pickup. I just think that they can do a better job with how they made it together. It just seems like it's kind of busy. Like it doesn't know where it wants to be at. Alrighty, so I made it back home, and overall, I'm happy with the 10-speed. I think that the 7.3 is definitely a good option. I don't know if I would be sold in going away from a diesel yet. So now that we're not traveling full time in the RV, this is something I'm really trying to consider for maybe a year, to have a gas truck. But the only way I can do that is if I do a fuel economy run. So in the next video, what I'm going to do is we're going to take both of these trucks on a run to see the fuel economy and see which one does the best. That might be a good observation because we're going to do it in the city too. So if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notifications because we got some good things coming.